What if the key to feeling lighter, calmer, and more at peace wasn't about adding more to your life, but instead taking something away? Imagine letting go of the habits, the expectations, or the distractions weighing you down, and instead creating space for what really, really matters. In this episode, we're talking about the power of less, why subtraction can bring more clarity, happiness, and even more purpose into your life. Let's dive in. You are listening to the Free to Be Mindful podcast, which invites you along on a journey to learn of mindful living, grow in mental health, and inspire through personal growth. In a world where we can often feel much stress and overwhelm, this podcast provides bite sized tips and real talk conversations, empowering you to embrace mindfulness and nurture your full potential. I'm your host, Vanessa de Jesus Guzman, licensed therapist, retired educator, entrepreneur, and mom of two. I'm passionate about helping busy moms reduce the overwhelm and live life intentionally without losing their, well, here we go. Hello and welcome to episode 234 of the Free to Be Mindful podcast. I hope that you're feeling good, looking good, and doing better in this world than you were yesterday. So, if you're a parent or an educator or a therapist or anybody who works with kids, you know that kids are no stranger to the concept of subtraction. It's in their math lessons, it's in their playtime when we encourage them to let go of their iPads and use their imagination. And even in everyday life, when they learn the concept of out with the old and in with the new, if our kids want new toys, sometimes we have them create space by letting go of some old ones, which my 11-year-old seems to be having a little bit of a hard time with. But it's something that we do try to teach because it's a powerful lesson. Sometimes when we let go of something, we then can make room to gain something even better. But it's not just our kids who learn from this concept of subtracting to then add. As adults, we may not have a temper tantrum, so to speak, at least not most of us anyway. But letting go can still be hard, whether it's fear that keeps us stuck, or habits that no longer serve us, or even the comfort zone that makes us complacent. We struggle to release what's weighing us down sometimes. We often think that actually the answer is to add more, to do more, to have more, to be more. But when we learn to subtract, we gain something powerful. We gain clarity, we gain peace, and a renewed sense of purpose. This idea of doing more with less isn't anything new, but it is something that we often forget in a world that values adding more to our already very full plates. Because society has trained us to think that more equals better. And historically, that has made sense. Having more resources often meant a better chance of survival. But today, our modern survival mode often looks like chasing after more money, chasing after achievements or possessions, and thinking that that is what's going to get us closer to happiness or to define our worth. And we know that social media definitely feeds into this mindset. We compare ourselves to others, we feel the pressure to keep up with the latest trends, and we tie our value to how much we've achieved when comparing ourselves to others. And sometimes it's cultural because I know I myself have grown up hearing that I need to work hard in order to make more money, to do more, to be the best. So believing all of that will lead to satisfaction or success has definitely been ingrained in us. But here's the thing, friends. Piling up on more doesn't always add values. And often it's really the opposite. Believe it or not, there's research that actually shows this. One study found that when given a challenge of stabilizing a wobbly Lego platform, most participants added extra bricks to fix the problem instead of just removing one brick to simplify the solution. And it's a natural reaction, of course, to think, what more can I add to solve this? And in another example, the food industry took a different approach. And this we've seen when we go shopping because they use smaller portion sizes, like 100-calorie snack packs or mini sodas, showed us that less can actually be more because If we train our stomachs to be fulfilled with that smaller portion, then we can actually be okay with that instead of piling our literal plates full to the rims. So, how is it that we do this? How do we tap into the power of less in our own lives? How do we know what to let go of and then to actually take that step? Here's some strategies to help. The first is focus on the journey, not just the destination. If we took a moment to think about it, we know that when we go through something, whether it be positive or negative, we can quickly adapt to these events. Once we achieve a goal or experience something new, the initial happiness kind of fades, and then we start chasing the next thing, right? We barely ever celebrate in the moment before saying, well, what's next? And instead of living for these fleeting moments that come and go so quickly, we can maybe try to invest in ongoing activities that bring us joy and fulfillment, things that focus on the present moment rather than just thinking about the what's next. Tip number two is to simplify your life. Sometimes the biggest gains come from cutting out what's necessary. That might mean clearing up your calendar or letting go of a toxic relationship or saying no to commitments that drain your energy. Or for myself, something that I've been working on for a while is decluttering my home space. Simplicity can be freeing, and you might be surprised of how much lighter and happier you feel when you let go of the stuff that no longer serves you. And the third tip is to practice gratitude. Having a gratitude practice shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already good in your life. You can try to writing things down, or even as simple as thinking about 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for that happened that day before you close your eyes to sleep. Anything from a beautiful sunrise to a meaningful conversation to the simple joy of your morning coffee. That's mine personally. Gratitude reminds us that we don't often need so much more to be fulfilled. Do you really know how to calm down when stress hits? Or maybe you're looking for ways to help your kids relax, but you're not sure where to start. These are common issues for my kid and mom clients. And after years of providing bits and pieces from other resources, I have finally created a comprehensive resource for my clients and for podcast listeners like you. This free resource provides you with 120 coping skills to navigate big feelings. This guide is filled with simple yet effective strategies to help you manage emotions and to help you find peace. And knowing that oftentimes a list just isn't enough, with your download, you'll also get access to a series of supportive videos which will guide you on how to use this resource and show you how to put these strategies into practice for everyday life. So are you ready to make that change? Click the link below to download your free guide. It's time to empower yourself and your children with the skills for a happier, healthier life. And friends, when we embrace that idea that less is more, we then open ourselves to new opportunities, to fresh energy, and believe it or not, even to a sense of calm. Because we can start appreciating the blessings that we already have and make space for deeper connections, for personal growth, and for the little joys that make life meaningful. So let's take out the moments to remind ourselves and to show our kids that subtraction doesn't necessarily mean less. It's about for making room for more of what truly matters. So right now, regardless of where you are, what you're doing, bring to mind something that perhaps feels a little bit heavy, something that you've been holding on to that's no longer serving you. It might be a responsibility, maybe a fear, or maybe a habit. Whatever it is that comes to mind, just notice it. And as much as you can, notice it without judgment. Imagine this thing as a physical object that you're actually carrying and feel its weight. Notice how much space that it takes up, whether it's in your hands, in your mind, or in your heart. And then ask yourself, what would happen if I just place this down? And picture yourself actually placing this thing down, perhaps on the ground beside you or on a shelf. Not throwing it, not forcing it, just releasing it with intention. And imagine and feel the lightness that comes to you when you're no longer carrying it. Notice the space that may be left behind, which leaves room for clarity, for calm, and for the things that truly matter. So, friends, as you take this message that you've heard today, ask yourself, what's one way that I can do more with less? Maybe it's simplifying your schedule, releasing an expectation, or focusing on one meaningful connection instead of many shallow ones. I hope that this practice today reminded you that letting go can create space, not for emptiness, but space for what truly matters. And if you felt that this message resonated with you, please do me the favor and share it with a friend that can also find this beneficial to them. As always, remember, friends, that in a world where you're free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next time. Free to Be Mindful exists because of viewers and listeners like you. If you're enjoying the podcast or felt this week's show resonated with you, please take a moment to leave a rate and review on the platform where you catch your favorite shows. That quick and easy act allows me to see what you're enjoying so I can deliver more personalized content that focuses on learning, growing, and inspiring. It also helps others find the podcast too. Don't forget to subscribe so you can listen along next week. And if you can do me the favor and share this podcast on social or with a friend who may benefit from the message shared today, that would be truly appreciated. In the meantime, I welcome you to follow me on social media across all platforms at Counselor V. De Jesus for more fun content. And remember, my friends, in a world where you are free to be anything that you want to be, you are always free to be mindful. Catch you next week.